Hello, and welcome to another episode of Lunchin with Lisa. It's Thursday again already. Um, I just feel like it just keeps going back around to Thursday. I'm always looking forward to Thursday for more than one reason. The first reason because I have wonderful guests that come on the show and we just get to have some fun. The other one is because it's my Friday. So sorry, not sorry for those who can't call this Friday, but this is my Friday. So I look forward to this day for several reasons. So before we get into our guest and who's visiting us today, I wanted to go through a few things that are going on for me and Lunching with Lisa and Dove Style Magazine and all that kind of stuff. So first things first, we're celebrating Women's History Month all month long. So we're talking about women who are doing wonderful things. Some of them are guests. Some of them we're kind of shouting them out. First, I'd like to shout out my sister. You all know that I have been just celebrating her achievements. That we're so proud of my sister, Erica Dove. She is actually running for a state court judge in Gwinnett County in Georgia. May 24th, I think, is voting day. So if you're in the area down there in Gwinnett County, please go out. Look for Erica Dove. She actually has a page on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Go check her out and get out there and vote. We are extremely proud of her. She actually already got assigned she is actually associate judge for Chamblee and Lilburn in Georgia. So she's already Judge Dove. But we're trying to push her further. So y'all look out for her, and she's doing her thing. I'm so proud of my baby sister.
You should be.
Yeah. So y'all just know I'm not shy, and I'm not just saying it because she's my sister. She is the bomb.com. She don't play. Okay. She gets the work done. I also wanted to shout out DSM Media, who you know is behind the scenes for Lunching with Lisa, but you may not know that we actually have a show lineup. So from throughout the week, we actually have shows. So I would say first we have Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul with host Michelle Bolden Hammond on Tuesday. She used to be on Wednesdays, but now she's on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can always tune in. We're behind the scenes helping Michelle to get the word out about the mind, body, soul. She has wonderful guests. So please lock in your Tuesdays. Y'all know we are kind of staying close to home these days. Nothing wrong with it. It's just an hour. Tune in and check our show out. And then, of course, we have Lunching with Lisa on Thursday. So you got Tuesday locked in, you got Thursday locked in, and then we have Friday. We actually will be having Stars with Tamika Joy come back to us on Friday evenings. She has an awesome show. She has a lot of musical artists come on. They talk about some great events. She even dedicates one of her Fridays to the children, and they do a takeover. So they are the hosts, they are the guests. It is a wonderful thing to watch. So please lock those Fridays in. It really makes your day, and it's early enough for you to get back to what you're going to do on Friday night. And then on Saturday mornings, we have Moms We See You with Dr. Tashika and Jacqueline Griffin. They are hosting Moms We See You every Saturday at 10 a.m. So we're back behind the scenes on Saturday, making sure that they get the word out. And it really is kind of like going to church sometimes on Sunday. So they get deep in their conversation. I am always so motivated after we get off those shows. So make sure you tune in. We try to have something for you every day of the week. Sunday, I think we rest a little bit, but we enjoy the front row seat, but we appreciate you. We also want to celebrate Dove Style Magazine. Dove Style Magazine has been celebrating since 2012. We are now in existence for 10 years. So this year we celebrate 10 years Dove Style Magazine. And in honor for the 10 years, we'll be doing all kinds of cool things throughout the year. But I am looking forward to what we're calling the Hidden Treasure Awards. That will be in November or December of this year. It's the first time. And it really will be highlighting those people who are doing wonderful things but rarely get seen or acknowledged. That's just kind of my lane there. I think a lot of times we kind of look over people because you don't always see them. So you forget that there are other people to add to the circle. So I'm going to widen that circle a little bit. I also want to encourage you all to do some ad space with Dove Style Magazine. You can, there's 4 spaces that you can get to advertise your products or your event or whatever it is. So reach out to us. We would love to have you advertise in Dove Style Magazine. So keep in mind, dovestylemagazine.org. Check us out. Last but not least, I would like to actually celebrate my very first children's book called When Gigi Meets Cam. In January, it had been 1 year. I'm actually working on 2 or 3 more that I've actually written that I'm trying to get finished the illustrations on it so we can get those out. But this is a legacy project for me. This story, or these stories, actually are me and my grandson and how we just kind of interact with each other. I think we're kind enough to include mommy and daddy, we include Lolo too sometimes. There, but it's all about me and him. That is just my partner. He is just my heart. So this was created for him. I'm hoping that maybe when he gets older, because he loves to read, that maybe he will want to take this over and do something else with it. So happy 1 year anniversary, and it continues. So with that being said, we want to actually introduce our guest. This is all in honor, like I said, of Women's History Month. So I'm loving the fact that I can bring people on. I don't think she's ever been on Lunchin with Lisa.
I haven't.
Yes, so we have a newbie, which is always exciting. We love it. So then she'll be a return guest, because we love our return guests too.
All right, okay.
Yeah, so she's stuck with us at this point. Let me introduce a little bit about her, and then we're just going to get into talking. So your purpose. Let's start. Your purpose, success, and confidence coach, Shelley Meche'tte. Let me say, am I saying your last name correctly?
You got it. Most people say Shelley Meche'tte. So I mean, go on, girl. You got it. Shelley Meche'tte. You good.
Okay. I was trying to be fancy, but you know how we try to be extra. People say you always doing something with a name, but I got it.
The extra was right.
I love it. So she's a certified life purpose coach and international empowerment speaker. So pay attention to how this is spelled. EMPOW, capital HERMENT speaker. I love it. Shelley is extremely passionate and dedicated to the empowerment of women through strategized personal and professional development. She is also a best-selling author and founder of the women's organization, The Powerful Woman. So we'll talk about that. Shelley challenges women to take responsibility for the actions, both productive and counterproductive, of the person staring back at them in the mirror, while reminding them of the fact that they are powerful, valuable, and unique, and more to offer than just their physical appearance. She's a California native. Shelley studied psychology and theater arts. That's a combination. I like that.
I know, right?
At Cal State University, Northridge. Extreme attention to detail, affording her the opportunity to share her proficiencies with the likes of such companies as Warner Brothers, Walt Disney, and Saban Entertainment. So what I want Shelley to do, because it's so much better when they talk to you about the things they're doing, but I'll just mention some of her features include CBS, NBC, ABC. She got all the alphabets in here, y'all. The CW, Yahoo, Bustle. I love it. Legal Zoom, X-Men. You name it, she has been there, done it. The Claudia Jordan Show, iHeartRadio. So if you don't know her, you catching up. That's all I'm saying. So Shelley is the author of several books. We want her to talk about that. And in 2021, Shelley and her daughter became the host of her own talk show, The Shelley and Bree Show, currently airing on Roku and on, is it Viz ZD?
Yes, it's a new channel called Viz D, and so yes, it's on Roku on the Viz D channel. Yes.
Okay, Viz D channel. So she's going to tell us more about how you all can check her out. So without further ado, I wanted to mention, of course, Shelley Meche'tte. Look, I done messed up myself.
But you got it the first time, so that's what matters.
I know, right? Is an ordained minister, and she has been married since 2002, and she's the mother of two amazing legacies daughters. Okay, you got girls. Oh my goodness. Okay,
yes.
So you've been busy. So I want to welcome you, Shelley, to the show. Welcome to Lunchin with Lisa.
Thank you.
And we're going to get right into it, because we have actually been on several platforms before.
Yes. Where we have interacted, honey, because I was all about that. The power of shut up. I think I got that right.
Yes.
So, that's when I was excited when I met you, because I was like, oh, the power. of
Yes.
shut up.
And look, now I see it really connects to what Shelley did, because everything is about power. So let's
Yeah.
talk about that. So tell us how you got into even the coaching of this, and why your focus is especially on women.
Well, I actually was that person before I even jumped into coaching. I was always that person where people wanted to get my opinion on something, or I was very mature for my age. And so, as I grew, people, my friends and things, they always wanted to find out, hey, well, what would you do, or what do you think? So I just kind of grew into that period. When I became a single mother, I wanted to be able to empower other single parents. And so once again, there I was in that position where I wanted to give back and empower, because I felt like I didn't have that around me. Some days I wanted to be able to say, oh my gosh, I want to slap her into the orbits without people coming at me. So I needed a group where I could do that. And since I couldn't find one, I was like, okay, let me start one. And I started a single parent group where we could just come together, hang out, let's get to know one another. Let's go to the park, things like that. And so it was kind of always a mixture in there. But it wasn't until later in life, when I ended up leaving the entertainment industry to stay home with my daughters, that I literally had a meltdown of identity. Like, who are you? You don't work in this industry anymore. You don't take care of yourself because now, you're dependent on your husband. It was a huge identity thing. Who are you if you're not so-and-so's mom, so-and-so's wife? But with that identity crash, I kid you not, I was able to really figure out who I was.
Okay.
And, in this caterpillar, the butterfly just emerged from this caterpillar. And from there, I'm like, now I know it got to be some more women's who feel the way I feels.
That's right.
Okay. I know I can't be the only one who's sitting up in the mirror checking to see if my ugly cry is really ugly. I cannot be the only one. Y'all tell me I'm not the only one. Please.
No, you're not the only one. You are not alone.
And with that, I began just opening up different types of communities and things like that. I went from having a nonprofit servicing teens, and God told me that wasn't it, to opening up a nonprofit for women, because I just fell in love with women, and I just fell in love with our ability, our heart, our sisterhood. We get a bad rap out there, like we can't come together, we can't work together, we're always stabbing, each other. And I'm like, no, some, yes, all, no. And I want to connect and change that narrative. I'm about my women, and I want us to be about one another. So I guess that was the long way of answering your question.
No. And it's funny that I'm glad you said that, because and sometimes I forget, but generally speaking, I've always been that chick that's well, they assume we're not that chick, but I really do love sisterhood. I think it's an amazing thing when women work together, really support each other. I understand that there's sometimes where it seems to be that we're not good at that, but the power in that is amazing. It's just that sometimes we get off keel. Sometimes we listen to the narrative and then we buy into it. We just gotta do better. But that's why what you do is so important, because we need somebody to remind us of who we are.
Absolutely. And everything that's within us. I look at us as women, in our own little community of being women, and I sit back and I'm like, we're some bad mama jammas. And that takes nothing from our men, because our men are amazing in their own right. But I look and I go, we're holding down homes, we're holding down jobs, we're caretakers, we're supporting our men, we're out in the community, we're trying to give to one another. You are a bad mama jamma, and we need to be poured back into. We're walking around with mom guilt. We're walking around, being paid less than. We're taking on extra responsibilities, some that are single parents, and it's just a lot. So where do we get to take off the cape that we never asked to be put on?
How about that?
How about that one? I am not your superwoman.
That's right.
Karen White.
That's right. Well, that's why we got in the space that we're in, because we have been told that we have to be all these things.
Yes.
And that's not true. We don't have to
It's
be
not
all that.
true.
They can't.
We just can't. That's, I am a full believer of, stop adding to your plate. In fact, make your plate smaller.
Okay, well,
Make stop.
let me put my steel toe boots on first, because she's about to step on my toes. Because I mean,
Stop.
that's a
Stop
real,
it.
yes.
Stop it. Because what we do is we start adding some extra potatoes and some extra salad, putting 4 and 5 pieces of meat on, and then you're shocked that it's falling off. You don't know why you can't do everything. You have 2 children under 5. No, you can't do PTA. No. What you have to do is be that mom in this season who has to be there a little more. When they get 10 and 15, run on off. But we have to start looking at our season. There's a season to everything, and stop thinking that one season is better than the other season.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? 3 different people can make peach cobbler, and 3 different people can use different types of ingredients. Does that mean that your seasoning is wrong or that seasoning, what's right? No, the season that you're in, we need to learn how to enjoy it. And I didn't know that in the beginning. So like a lot of women, I'm running around losing edges. You know what I'm saying? It's 15 years later and I'm still trying to brush them down.
I was getting ready to say, Sharima probably is laughing back there saying, we just had this conversation. And the good thing about this, and what I love about the sisterhood and what you do as well, is because even like with Sharima, we check each other. So
yes.
She is my voice when I'm like, I got things to do, and vice versa. So we have to actually tell each other when to sit down and have several seats. Because
absolutely, but you need that kind of things. You need that though.
Yeah.
You need that sisterhood.
I really need you to tell me that, but when we hear it, we just like, yeah.
Listen, you talking about the power of shut up. You need to create the power of sit down. How about that? The power of sit down. Write that book.
Oh, I love that. I'm writing that down.
Write that book, Lisa. The power of sit down.
I love it. Yes. So look, this is what we're going to do. This is great. So we're going to go to a commercial break, and we're going to come back and get more into this conversation a little bit, because this is some good stuff. And I'm going to actually do another shout out to another woman who's doing some amazing things. So we will be right back. Yeah, so I forgot to mention to you all that the Power of Shut Up Symposium 1 last year was wonderful. So we are doing it all over again. So this year, April 30th is the date. We have some wonderful speakers coming. We have some wonderful entertainment. I can't wait to share with you who's going to be there and who is our entertainment. I'm so excited. So yes, stay tuned, because that's happening April 30th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's going to be so good. I'm so excited. I'm always excited. I get excited about it.
You should be. Is it virtual, Lisa?
It's going to be virtual this year.
Awesome.
I do have intentions of it being in person next year, but to stay safe, we're going to do it virtually. So I can't wait. I also wanted to make sure you understand. Y'all hear me say Shariva a lot of times. Okay. And y'all see her sometimes on the screen because I drag her to the front and she's like, leave me alone. Okay. Because she's behind the scenes. But I also wanted to make sure you all support her with Saving My Pocket. So if you all don't remember, Shariva is the queen of couponing. She holds classes. Her classes are amazing. Sometimes she teams up with other people, but she's always trying to help you to keep your money in your pocket. She's about the money. And Saving My Pockets has a group. She has a huge following. So please go check her out. She is a beast at this couponing thing. It's not something you can just go one time and then you got it. I don't know how she does it. Um, but she is amazing with how she does this couponing, and
I
the
love it.
savings she has made is like, oh my gosh, I got to learn this because I'm just throwing money away. But
I
we make
love it. I
money.
used to coupon and I was like, oh honey, it'd be a little hard. I loved it was my piece. I loved Sundays. I would get like 2 or 3 Sunday papers and I loved it. And since everything is like on the phone now, I think, like you have to download everything. I was like, oh, it's too much. So I probably need your class.
Yes, so I'm hoping Sharifa, I don't know if she has any other classes. She just had a class, so please stay tuned with her because she has classes that come up that she holds, and it's a lot of information. And like I said, she's a beast at what she does. So yeah, you coming to the best. So she said coming soon, new classes. So please check her out. I
Yes.
honored her the first show of March, to let everybody know that she should be honored for Women's History Month. And then she's just an example, as well as other people, of those hidden treasures. So a lot of times people don't know what people are capable of, what they can do. They're just kind of skipping over them sometimes, but I see you. So that's my, take on all of you all, that I see y'all. I see y'all. I'm right there with you. I might be behind the scenes, but that's okay. And this is why I love to do what I do. So I want to get back into this a little bit before we have some Luncheon with Lisa fun. So tell us a little bit more. You have some books that are out. Tell us a little bit about those books you have out.
Yes, my first time becoming an author was with my book, 70 Days of Happy, Life is Better When You Smile. And Lord, if that ain't the truth, that a smile really can change your disposition. But the book came from me doing a challenge. And it was a 90-day challenge of just, don't say things negative. Not that you aren't supposed to recognize those things, but just to take an opportunity to be deliberate enough to go, oh, I see it. I see what's happening, but I'm not going to choose to focus all of my attention and energy on that. So I decided to do that. I'm generally a laid back, pretty happy person until I lose the remote. Then I'm screaming all over the house. But other than that, I'm usually pretty chill. And so I'm like, I want to do this challenge. And what I found was, oh yeah, when you deliberately say, I'm going to focus on this and not on that, it's not you doing, toxic positivity. It's you saying, I see it, I'm going to handle it, but I'm not going to dwell in it.
Right.
And so I loved that about that challenge. And I decided to take some of the things that I thought were simplistic in life and connect them to that. So I wrote that book in all of my fear, because imposter syndrome was sitting on my shoulder like, who you think you is? What is you doing? What is you doing? And why is you doing it?
Right.
And I was like, well, see, what had happened was, I thought that maybe so all of these, things were piling on me, and I made the mistake of telling my family what I was doing. So when I finished the book, I'm like, okay, I'm done. And it was like, how you done? And you ain't published nothing. I was like, oh, okay. They're like, dude. I was like, oh, okay. So I got to publish it too.
Yeah.
It was the most amazing experience to share that with my family and to really watch myself get over the hump of fear, to where literally I had to say to myself, Shelley, what is the absolute worst thing that can happen with this book? And I'm like, nobody will buy it. People will talk about you, blah, blah, blah. I said, and after all of those things, what's the one thing that's true? And I said, you'll be a published author. And there's nothing that anyone can take from that.
Amen. Actually,
so it outweighs.
To be honest with you, it's not even true that nobody will buy it, because somebody will. Now, it might not be the number in your dream, but somebody's going to buy it.
Right.
As long as the message gets out to one person, which is a guarantee. Because I was getting ready to ask you. So in the challenge that motivated the book, you said 70 days, right?
Yeah, my book is 70 days, but we did a 90-day challenge.
You did a 90-day challenge.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask a really honest question. That's a long.
Isn't that a long time? Isn't that a long time?
Even if you are a positive person.
That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty chill, but I was like, to really like be focused and deliberate. Y'all say 90 days. I was like, dude, that's 3 months. You
That's
know,
a long time.
90 days is a long time. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, like Sharif said 90 days to catch yourself. So I'm thinking,
Yes.
okay, so the first week or two, we good. We good. I'm like,
Hmm.
oh, easy peasy.
Girl,
But you
yes.
enter into week 3, it's been some slippage and everything else. Oops. Oh, wait a
Okay.
minute. Do I have to start all over again? So
I was just like, okay, and I put it in my book because it's funny that during the challenge somebody hit the back of my car, and I was sitting at a light and they hit the back of my car, and y'all listen, okay? When I tell you I went from 0 to gazillion and 20, okay? And I was like, pull over, pull over.
and then did you think like instantly, oh my gosh,
Yes.
I'm in a 90-day challenge?
Yes, that's exactly what happened because I'm in my mirror like, pull your car over, and I'm going off in my car. And from the time that we went from the light, because I was sitting at the light when they hit me, to the time that we went to the gas station, I said, bring it in, Shelley. No one's calling your family. You know, nobody has to rush to the hospital. You're inconvenienced. Call your job. Somebody hit your car. It is what it is. So the thing is, I'm not saying to ignore any of those things that happen. That's silly to ignore the fact that I'm angry. Somebody
Right.
just hit my car and I'm sitting at the light. Come on now, we ain't making no turns. We ain't doing nothing. Just sitting at the light. So it's like, it's cool to
Right.
acknowledge that you're angry about that, but it's also cool to take it and go, okay, let me see what I need to do to move past this and do it in the right frame of mind. So in those few minutes, I was like, okay, it's cool. I looked at the damage. It wasn't that serious. I was like, I guess, okay. You know,
The silent struggle, like I'm really struggling just to
right,
okay.
right, right. But it was a honest moment of life, and where being in that challenge, I'm like, all right, how can I do this without being handcuffed? You know, and
Now
so the
that's a
family
good
don't
question.
have to come get me.
Well, I'm thinking about that should probably be a hashtag question. What you think? So when you're going through life and things are happening, if you immediately say, how can I get through this so that I don't end up in handcuffs? That might
Right.
stop you from a whole lot of
It
stuff,
it it could. It
especially
could.
now. Especially now.
Yeah, so that I'm like, all right, don't do the handcuff. Husband might be a little upset that he got to come and bail you out. So just just chill.
Yeah.
Just chill. So things like that, I wanted to take those things and put those stories together. And
Okay.
I talk in the book about having an absentee father, and being able to forgive.
Sharita said ain't no
Obviously, we
bail
don't
money
have bail
anyway. So
money.
if you go, you better plan to stay because we ain't got no bail money.
Oh man, just a
There,
little.
there's the motivation though, because I surely don't want to stay. So
I don't.
let me
I
just
don't.
put that smile on and
It,
look,
it
smile
can
and be
it can be
happy
so
because
hard.
yeah, I don't want to sleep on no bench. Yeah, I
I
don't want to do
don't.
it.
I
Or the
don't.
floor or whatever they do. I don't know.
Whatever it is, I
I don't
don't
want
want to
to
be
know.
there.
Right. I get it. I get it. And then 77, you said 70 days of happiness.
Hmm.
Um, well, that's good because what it did was motivate you into challenging yourself even more. Because what did you
Yes.
gain? You must have gained something that was like, and the only reason why I'm seeing this as that's kind of what I pulled from even the Power Shut Up. It was like when we take those moments to just
Hmm.
chill, it's a great feeling not to
Hmm.
get all worked up and
It really is. And what I love about my book is I take the simple pleasures that we take for granted, and I
mhm.
reignite them in you.
Okay.
Something as simple as saying, hey, have you had a cup of tea and watched the sunset? It's simple, but it's things that we don't realize that, oh wow, this is really pouring into who I am as a person, or is pouring into who I am as a woman, or whatever it is. Because loving you is not always going out and getting your nails done.
Right.
Loving you is sitting down and being able to say, I did okay today. Only cussed out 2 people, not 3. I did okay today. You know what
Baby
I'm
steps.
saying?
Right,
Baby
right.
steps. But we don't pat ourselves on the back for that because we're so busy looking at what we did wrong. We don't look at any of the things that we have
That's
done in
true.
progression. And so I wanted it to be a compilation of just little things, mistakes that I've made,
Right.
or having to, like I said, learn to forgive my father, just things that are human things. But if we take them and we move past the pain of them, we can
Mhm.
actually find that there's a smile that can be related to it.
That's true. And I think I mean, you onto something with the focus that you mentioned earlier. Because I think that's why we don't get to the space you're talking about, because
Mm-hmm.
we are focused on the negative, or sometimes we just focused on what somebody else is doing and not
So
even paying
true.
attention to what we're doing.
So true.
And like you said, because I read something we read about looking in the mirror, or
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
kind of looking back at yourself and saying, okay, so but what's your role in this? Um,
What's your part?
and you
What's your
got to,
part? Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying?
well,
We have
yeah,
to learn how to be honest with ourselves. Instead of you always looking and talking about, what your fellow woman is doing or not doing, how about you get in the mirror and be like, it's you. You're the bitter one. How
that's
about that?
hard.
How
That's hard.
about looking at you and being like, oh, you're the mean girl? How about that?
Oh, then see, yeah,
How about that? So that's why clients come to me and that's why clients don't come to me for that exact
right.
reason,
That
because I
part.
want to I want to know why you're telling me all of this. In order for us to really ignite and find your passion and get you to the place, of empowerment, I need you to be honest with you. Maybe you need the power of shutting up.
That's right. That
You know,
look, and
let's
that's
be
the whole thing
real.
right there. That's why it means so much, because when you recognize it for you first,
Mm-hmm.
can't nobody even use that against you, because it's like, oh, I know I had a problem with my mouth. So
Exactly.
you telling me, but I know. So
Exactly.
that's how I know how it feels on this side versus that side.
Mm-hmm.
And if we just opened ourselves up to experience other people's journeys without having to go through other people's journeys,
Mm-hmm.
instead of, oh, I mean,
That,
I don't know that I
yeah.
ain't never. No, well,
That's a word right there.
I
That's a
might be
word right
helping you
there.
out. Yeah, why do I want to go through something that caused you pain just because I don't want to listen to you?
Right.
It's like, who are you? Who are you?
Right. Let me tell you something, and I'm just gonna throw this out there. I
Uh-oh.
don't I don't need to be an alcoholic to understand that it may not be in my best interest.
That's right. That's
I
right.
done seen enough of my family members.
Yeah, you
Okay.
don't have to experience
I don't have to
everything.
experience everything in order to be able to walk away from everything. I don't have
Absolutely.
to. I can learn from your experience.
Mm-hmm.
I really can. In fact, I'm okay with it. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm okay with not hitting brick walls. They leave scars. So if I can avoid them,
Well,
I'm
Shelley,
good.
though, you know what that takes, though? I think maybe that's the struggle with women at times, is that it takes trusting, others. We're sometimes not
So
trusting.
true.
Yeah, and we have
So
to get to a
true.
space where we can trust our fellows, and what we think.
So true.
I think sometimes, I know I've been guilty of it in the past, where you always felt like somebody was coming for you, or
Hmm.
challenging you. So we're out the gate. We
Just defense
as my husband used to say,
mechanisms.
he said, "Choose to sleep like this," just on ready. But you get so used to being beat down with,
Yeah.
whatever, that you just,
Hmm.
that's how you wake up in the morning. It took a lot for me to
Yeah.
get past doing that, because all I was doing was messing my days up.
Absolutely. But here's the thing that I also think that we need to be able to do, because that is so true. It's hard for us to trust because growing up, in my opinion, we've been taught to compete against the cute girl, or subconsciously we hear how the girl with the long pretty curls is so this so that, and if we don't have that, we already subconsciously are in this mentality of, well, I don't have the long, pretty
Right.
curls, or I don't have this. So we grow up kind of with that mechanism of, I'm not as good as you because I don't, or now I'm upset with you because you do. And so I think that as we grow with that, yes, part of that becomes, I don't trust. And we run into, unfortunately, our fellow woman sometimes who has stabbed us, who has hurt us. But I think the major thing, at least for me, that I learned was, yes, I do need to be able to trust people again, but because I'm such an open person, you need to, for me, my own personal self, you need to be able to show me that you're trustworthy. So
Okay.
I don't just give my trust away the way that
Right.
I used to. That doesn't mean that I don't interact with you. That doesn't mean that, that we're not hitting elbows. It doesn't mean that. What it means is I need to see your character
Absolutely.
before I can commit my trust.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
I took that responsibility back.
Hmm.
It doesn't mean that you're not going to try to harm me. What it means is if you do, it's going to sting a little less because I never put you in that position in my life in the first place.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
know,
That's that adjustable spoon I always talk about, that I didn't learn till I, got older, because you put everybody in the same spot.
right.
And that's how you get your feelings hurt. And,
Hmm.
and when you start to learn to accept people for who they are. And the other thing was expectations. I think I expected,
Yes.
well, unfortunately, and I know it seems weird, but we expect everybody to be who we are.
You
And
are so right.
everybody's not you. So I got checked many times because I was like,
Mhm.
well, why would such and such do that? Because I would never. Okay, well, they're
Yep.
not you. So why
Yep.
are you even expecting them to respond? That helped me out a lot, because, and it
Yeah.
didn't make sense to me at first, because I was like, well, if I think that I'm being kind, why
Hmm.
wouldn't I expect
Why
that from
wouldn't it be
somebody else?
reciprocated? It still don't make sense to me.
Right.
Regardless, it don't make sense to me. Even though I accept it, it still don't make
It
sense.
don't make sense, but it does, in the fact that they ain't you. So
They not you.
how
And
can they do what you do if they're not you?
me and my children, we actually talk about the same thing. And and we've had to sit down and be like, people just don't think how we think. We really are. We are a very kind family. Just as a family, we're a kind family. We're always looking to empower, or or to help someone. And my husband is extremely, extremely kind. When people say they'll take the shirt off your back, no, my husband really will. And I'm like, do you realize how much we paid for that shirt? But it's okay. It's okay. You was being helpful. Let the Lord use you. Gotcha. But now you're gonna go buy another one. Okay, gotcha.
Look,
But
I swear that's why they blessed that God sent Shariba my way, because I would tell you, even my husband would say, how, if you got $5 in your pocket, why are you giving somebody four?
yeah.
And then you have to come and say, can I borrow $3? And I am so guilty of that. And it was like,
but that's the generosity of you. That's your heart.
it
That's
was
just
a
who you
negative
are.
mindset, though. It was like, okay, so truly you won't be able to survive doing that. Okay, so you
We got to
gotta
get a
learn.
little, just a small little balance there. But it's your
Yeah,
heart. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And that's just his heart of how he is. But when I looked at how people didn't reciprocate certain things for him, and he would always still go out of their way, then what you have is the mad wife on your hands, because you're not gonna keep on, you're not gonna keep on doing my man wrong.
I got you.
You just not gonna do it.
I
I'm
got
getting ready to sit the wig to the side, and I'm getting ready to handle a couple of things.
that is very true, because I was guilty of being, well, and I guess it depends on what you view as kind. I think why I was challenged with it, because I didn't want to seem unkind, so I wanted to keep doing it
Yeah.
until even I had somebody remind me, stop worrying about that. You're not who you are trying to show that you don't even
Hmm.
roll that way. So why are you busy trying to make sure people know you don't roll that way? If you don't roll
Yep.
that way and you are secure with it and you sleep well at night,
Yep.
then don't worry about it. But that was a hard thing for me
It's
to learn.
hard. It is one of the things that I talk to my clients about, being able to be secure in your no, because that's
Mm,
something that I had to learn to do. Like, I didn't want people to think that I wasn't nice, or I didn't want people, because I still held my own. I still had a snapback with his tongue,
oh, I
but
know, girl.
but It's kind of that mixture. I got a snapback, but I'm a nice person.
Yes.
So it's kind of a mix. But I didn't want people to think, oh, I can't be counted on, or, oh, all of these different things. And when I became a mother, I remember running my daughter around everywhere to go to different things at church and do stuff like that, because I just didn't want to say no. And I remember clearly the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, this is your season right now. This is your ministry right now. All of the other things, God wasn't telling me don't do anything. He was saying, you got to look at your season, and you got to look at what's best in this season. And in this season, more time needs to go to your child. Other things will be there.
Yep.
And I remember going, oh, wow, that's what I needed to be able to learn how to be secure in my no, and to learn that I didn't need to put a comma behind it. I won't be able to do that. I did have to learn, because I was a bit fearful. I did have to do things like, okay, let me get back with you. I figured out 4 or 5 different ways to say no. Okay, let me check my calendar. Let me see what's up. Girl, I'll call you right back.
You wait a minute, though. Wait a minute, Shelley. You are telling people secrets right now. So look,
I am.
can imagine now, every time somebody hears one of those things, they're gonna say, "Oh, so
right."
I'm
telling on myself, y'all. I'm telling on myself. But see, now I'm securing the no, so it don't matter.
That's right. Because I'm
now
sure every time somebody say, "Let me check your calendar." Oh, okay. So you're telling me no.
See, now when I tell you, let me check, it's for real, because I got some things going on. But at that time, because I had to learn how to secure myself, I'd be like, hold on, let me turn the page first. Let me see.
I saw Shabir said it's an art to it, and you're right. It's a craft. It's a complete sentence.
It is.
And the key is, if you secure your no, then even if people aren't willing to accept the art,
right,
of the no.
But see, but that's the thing.
Okay, right.
But that was the thing, Lisa. I had to, and again, this was a process. So when I'm working with clients, and they're like, but, and I'm like, no, trust me, I know it works. Everything I'm telling you, I've been there, I've done. But the thing is, what I needed to be able to do, and what I say to other women is, we need to play out the scenario. Okay. Sometimes we just need to play it out, because if you say no, then what? They're going to be mad at you. Okay. So what happens when they're mad at you? So let's play the scenario out. And for every single person, when we finish playing the scenario out, they're like, well, I'm still alive. You're still alive. But if you know that these are the different things that can happen, when I tell you no, because of who I'm talking to, I know that there's a potential for you to not speak to me, to try to guilt me, to be mad at me. Since I know these things, we work on giving you a sub no, so that you'll be able to counteract and say, okay, they're going to be angry with you. I understand that you're upset, but at this time, I have to be able to focus on this. Guilty. Usually that will work, but now I have to be able to focus. So we do sub no's so that you can get secure in saying, I told you no.
How about that? I have a sub no. I love that. I never even thought about a sub. So it's like like a soft launch is a soft no.
Yeah, because what I'm doing is, what happens is we don't say no because, and most of our because is, I don't want you to be mad at me. I don't want you. But if I have a sub no, because I know that the person who I'm dealing with, they're going to get upset. So because I know that, I have a sub to say, I know that this may not work for you, or it may be a little upsetting for you, but at this particular time, I have to be able to focus on this. So when I'm done focusing on that, then we'll see.
I love that, because then I think people receive it better. They don't.
Exactly.
You remember that people are going to receive it based on whatever is going on with them. Right. The final, they could have heard 15 no's. And they're like, oh my gosh.
Not again.
but because it is all in a delivery too. So I wanted to ask you, because you had a couple of other books out there, but I want you, before we have to leave, and we do want to have a little fun with you. I'm thinking I know what the Lunchin with Lisa thing is going to be, that we're going to do. But before we do that, tell us a little bit about the other books that you have.
Yes, my other book that I really love is a quote book, and that really stemmed from me doing quotes on Facebook. And people would ask, "Oh, where are you getting these quotes from? You know, where can I find these quotes?" I was like, "Girl, in my head." But so jump in anytime. But so I decided to put them all together and put them in a little quote book called Power Minds, which was a way for us as women to be able to talk to ourselves when
Okay.
life, is a bit rough and for us to be able to remember how God speaks to us. So I broke it up into three categories. You, the woman, so that's you speaking to you. You, the woman of God, which are different quotes to simulate God speaking back into you, and you, your fellow woman's keeper, of how we should speak life into our fellow woman. So I love it because at the end of the day, it's they're quotes and things that I've spoken to my daughters or said to my daughters, and it's a way for us as women to build verbal legacy for
Mhm.
those that are around us.
I love it. I love and Sharon just said she loves quote books. I love the whole concept of it because I'm a positive affirmation kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
I keep them around me, even behind me. You can see it as all messages to me. I think we need those constant reminders.
Yes.
To we need those reminders. Not that people aren't saying it here and there, but everybody doesn't always know when you need to
Mm-hmm.
hear it. So if
Mm-hmm.
you constantly look up from a rough day or a bad email or something, and you can look up and there's something
Absolutely.
in your peripheral that says, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous," it just
Right.
sometimes it shifts things, so it just kind of
And
reminds
you and you know I'm a perk up if you call me gorgeous.
Hey, how about that? Even if you say
Oh,
it to yourself sometimes,
right.
but
I'm just like,
what we got to
oh,
do is believe it. So what we're going to do is,
absolutely.
I love this conversation, Shelley. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back with some fun with a luncheon with Lisa moment, and then we're going to find out how you all can connect with Shelley, and find out where to find her so that you can get her books among other things that she may have coming up. So we will be right back. Yeah, so y'all make sure y'all contact DSM Media. We actually do social media postings for companies to help them get more exposure. We do graphics, we do commercials. You also can do commercials on Luncheon with Lisa. So hit us up if you want to run a commercial so that we can broadcast your product or event that's coming up. Hit us up and we will work with you and get a commercial so we can share this. I love sharing the shine. As
Nice.
has heard me say, sharing the shine. So I wanted to have a little luncheon with Lisa moment. So what we do every week with our guest is, of course, this is Luncheon with Lisa. So we have a lunchbox.
Yay!
And I'm from the I'm probably aging myself, but we used to say people a luncheon back in the day, and it had nothing to do with the meal. Okay, no meals.
Okay.
We're not feeding you, but we're going to talk about some things where people are lunching. So please send in your topics that we can discuss, because we like to send these topics or actually share these topics with our guests, and they have no idea what we're going to talk about as far as who's lunching about.
Okay.
But I think tonight I wanted to have a quick conversation before we find out what else Shelley has going on going forward. Let's talk a little bit about who you think or what you think people are lunching about in the world. And I actually wanted to kind of connect that with what we talked about with saying no. So can you think of a moment where somebody said no or didn't say no about something and they was they were tripping or lunching or whatever. I was trying to
Hmm.
think when we were talking, like, or who's out here saying no about some stuff and they tripping. I
I
know
don't
we
know.
can talk about, I'll throw out the first one where, where people maybe are talking about the mask situation and people saying, oh, no, you don't have to, so let me give you one. So now that they've said people can, don't have to wear their mask or whatever it is, and then people will come up to people who are still continuing to wear their mask. I would be one of them, and say, well, no, you don't have to wear your mask anymore. I am totally floored by that. Like, why does that have anything to do with anybody else? What would make someone approach someone who now it's a choice? Now you can do what you want to do. I can do what I want to do. Why would Shariva got one? Netflix luncheon on raisin prices.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
a
Why did
good
I get
one.
the email? Why did I get the Netflix email? And I
I
was like,
didn't get it.
seriously? Yes, I got the Netflix email that they were going up. And I was like, you know what? You're bothering me. Where's the free subscription? I'm like,
So
isn't this like the
hashtag
second
Netflix
time?
is luncheon. Okay.
Oh my gosh. But going back to your mask, I think that is really funny. I think people in their own mind are like, let me free you. Let me set you free. I really do. I think people really feel like, let me help you. You don't have to be that way anymore. Honey, and I'm like, first of all, if you could just take about 6 steps back, we would be really good. Because before any of this ever happened, I liked my space. I didn't like people next to me anyway. So really, when the pandemic happened, I was like, oh, that's a reason for me to be like, oh, you kind of close. Because I don't like it anyway.
So
You know,
look,
when
now they
people,
don't talk. They can't talk about you being. Oh, she don't want to be. She like. Oh no,
right?
everybody. It's everybody.
I was already spraying. I was already going to the grocery store spraying down the baskets with people looking at me crazy. The only thing I wasn't doing was wearing a mask. I am content in my mask, just so you guys know. I don't know when I'm letting it go. But if you see me outside, just know I am okay and I have been freed.
Look, I thought it was the strangest thing to approach someone after they said you don't have to, and to approach someone with a mask and say, you don't have to wear that. I just thought that was the strangest thing. Like,
Yeah,
why would you even want to say anything to
because I
anybody?
really do think people think they're helping. Like you must didn't get the memo. Like like it's St. Patrick's Day. You must didn't know. So that's why you don't have on green. But I
I,
just want to throw it out there because I want
what?
to show my cup.
Oh, wait a minute,
Okay.
because I'm gonna get you and them. So Shariva said, I think people stop washing their hands and clean their houses because all the stuff is marked down. Hey, now she's onto something because we couldn't
Are
find
you
it.
serious?
And now there's no problem with finding anything to clean anything. I mean, like what are you all doing now?
Like what happened?
What are you so I'm glad you hit on that before we find out how we could connect with you. So I let Shelley know that I will see you later on with my green on. And I just kind of smiled because in my mind I was thinking if she does not arrive with her green, I'm going to have to virtually pinch her, as I will also do Shariva, and unless she shows me some green, and everybody else, I can't see your green, or post it and say I'm wearing my green. Don't lie. You can go on my page and post your green. But Shelley said, well, let me go get some water.
I sure did.
She came back, and what did you have, Shelley?
I said, I just wanted y'all to know.
She has a green cup, so I can now not pinch her virtually because she has her green. Shariva doesn't know yet, but Shariva's going to get a virtual pinch because I didn't see any green. And I try to abide by the little fun things you do. But literally speaking, I have to be honest. I actually have Irish in my family. So
Really?
not that I'm just, wearing it. When I found out, she said, yeah,
No green.
Okay, well, virtual pinch to you. Michelle said she got a green light.
She got a green light.
So you're cheating. That's everybody then. Everybody's been in front of a green light. That was smart though. That was smart.
Okay, so, Michelle, that's a good one.
A green light. No. What if they're walking? What if they're walking? I don't know.
So
but
funny.
Before we leave, Shelley, I'm so glad we had you on, and we definitely have to have you back.
Yes, absolutely.
In the community.
Thank you, Cheryl.
So please share with everybody where they can find you, connect with you. And also, if you have any new projects or things going on, please let them know.
Yes, absolutely. You can always connect with me on social media. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all at my name, Shelley Meche'tte, because I don't like things to be difficult, but I will spell it for you because, unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's not spelled how it sounds. And it's ShelleyMeche'tte. A lot of E's in there, but we can connect there. I also have a Facebook group called Purposeful Christian Women, and we can connect there where I give tips and tools and connecting with other Christian ladies who are seeking to find purpose and to know where it is that they fit in life. And also we can always connect on my website, which is www.shelleymechette.com, and you can also download my freebie 5 powerful ways to discover your purpose. ShelleyMeche'tte.com/freebie. And if you don't add that freebie, you ain't getting it. But if you put freebie in there, it's gonna pop up, and you can get it.
So y'all remember, because we like free stuff. So y'all make sure, and Shelley, please, when we get off here, please drop it in the chat or the stream.
Absolutely, so absolutely.
Again, I so appreciate you coming on here.
Thank you.
Anything going on? Any projects coming up?
Right now, I'm working on a course which I actually just pretty much finished not too long ago. So I'm putting it together so that it will be available. And if you get on my mailing list, you will be the first one to be able to get that with, maybe you might have a little, surprise discount or something. I'm just saying.
I like the prizes too. So y'all know every Thursday we meet back here live on Facebook and on YouTube with more women. This month especially, we're meeting with women. We do have some wonderful guests coming up. So I'll give you a little teaser. I know we had a guest coming on, Grace, with the wonderful planner. Actually, let me see if I can pull out the planner. Grace will be here next week. We had to reschedule her. So Grace is coming back, and she's the queen of planners. So if you all want to tune in next week, we have Grace coming, and she has these beautiful,
nice,
amazing. Oh my God, look at this, is amazing.
That is beautiful.
These are beautiful. Her color schemes change every year.
Wow.
But the prints she uses, they're absolutely amazing. So Grace will be with us next week. And then the week after that, I actually have a makeup artist who actually a lot of the people that she makes up are like news anchors, and she's into the TV media. So I just she's coming on to join us. She's actually in Atlanta, and she actually took care of my sister. So my sister had to finally, and I'm just going to share with you. My sister is not the one for glamming up all the time.
I understand.
Wonderful makeup artist, and I decided that, okay, so if you made my sister beautiful, you have to grace my show and share people about your journey. And plus, it's extending outside of DMV. I like to keep spreading because there's goodness all over the place. And Shelley, I appreciate you coming on here.
You.
I'm hoping it will not be the last time.
You know it won't, because I'm gonna come back.
Yes, we insist. And if you all tune in every Thursday at 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Lunchin with Lisa will be here. We also stream on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public. So there's no excuse to miss the show. Let me tell you a funny thing before we leave here. My mother is in Atlanta down there with my sister, and she didn't realize she goes on YouTube to watch other things, maybe to stream her church and things like that. And I guess one day she ran across, because she will tune in or at my sister's house or whatever and watch the show sometimes. She will tune in, but she said, you know what? She sent me a text and said, I saw you on TV. And I was like, what are you talking about? She said, I was on YouTube, and then all of a sudden, Lunchin with Lisa popped up. And I'm thinking,
my child popped up.
this is the second season. So I'm like, Mom, we're on YouTube every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
It's been 2 years. She said, I had no idea that you were on the TV.
I love it.
She's always been watching YouTube on her phone. So she was like, it was on my TV, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's on TV.
Look, that's my child.
I love my mama, but she was like, my child is on TV. I said, funny. But I thought we've been there for a while, so this is not new
Oh,
news.
I love
Shout
it.
out to mom. Of course, I want to shout out my mom for Women's History Month, and I also want to do a special shout out to Prince Dejour. He did an amazing shout out on 102.3 on Sunday. And he shouted out my sister and myself for Women's
Nice.
History Month. And it was a wonderful surprise. I appreciate the support. You all will be seeing more of him. He's actually one of the speakers on the Power Shut Up Symposium 2. So he will be back. He was at 1 and now he's going to be at 2. He is amazing. Great insight. And we just really talk about the power of the tongue and how powerful words are. So we have to be careful with what we speak to ourselves and to
Absolutely.
others, on the job, within your spirit, to other people. We just need to be more careful with what we say out our mouths. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in like you do every Thursday. We appreciate you. Please continue to like and share this show and all the other shows. Anytime, there's no excuse. It ain't like when we cut this off, you can't do it no more. And we look forward to seeing you next week for another Lunchin with Lisa show. So until then, we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.